shoulder muscle out. You take a lot of coat off of the neck here to really showcase the beard that they have. They're the most important feature, right? And you come off the dog's fur. You don't go into it. So when you're using the hand stripper, the Mars cocaine, you come down and you're kind of off here, like this. Stand. Yeah, he's a groomer's dog. You know, he hates me. So you just come straight off here. Now pulls the coat out, and you already start to see a little bit more definition in the muscle, and it popping out. And then it needs a nice underline here. Now with these other tools, with these hand strippers, you can do two things. This particular one is nice because you just pull back. You don't have to pluck it with your thumb and thing and strip like this. People ask all the time about puppies. When I start a puppy to see if it's ready to be stripped, I use rubber gloves and just see if I can pull down on the dog's coat. If it starts to come out, then it's ready to be stripped. And this type of stripping knife here, it's a little more finer, and you can really get in there and pull out all this dead coat. And with him, it's quite a lot because I didn't do him for a while.
And you knew you were coming here, right?
Yeah. So with him, almost all this white will calm down. And you can tell just by pulling with your fingers. And some people do that too, pluck with their fingers. And that's fine too, that's another way to do it. Just more time consuming. At least with the tools you can pull out more smaller guys. Because he's a pet, what I do with him, I like him a little longer. I actually just showcase his brown spots. So I pull all the white hair out of there and all this light undercoat. I pull that all out of his dark areas and leave the rest of it a little bit longer.
Quiet.
The other thing I do that's important to say. To showcase their gait and their movement, I remove the hair from their elbows. And even in the shoe ring, they do the same thing. They'll remove the hair from the elbows to kind of open up that chest area a little bit and show off that movement. So by doing that, I just kind of get down, take the finer stripping knife, and hold it like dogs, and pull it out. And you'll notice when I'm done with him, it really opens up his gait and movement. It's really attractive. This coat is dead anyway, so you're not pulling out a lot of coat. You're pulling out all dead. And see just that little bit right there opens this area so you can see the underline of the dog.
Can I ask you a question, Jenny? You know it's dead because it comes out.
Yes.
With less, I mean,
You know it's dead because it comes out. If it's not ready, it should be real easy. I mean, hardly any pressure at all. If you had to really pull on it, like that's not, obviously, it'll come out, but it's not really ready. It's like, knock it off. So it really is easy to pull. You know, there won't be any pressure to do so. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that is important with this breed is ear maintenance and care, but also important is just under here where all this hair is underneath the ear opening. You really want to pull that hair off and out. That way it opens it up and it makes easy airflow. Otherwise, they can get ear infections pretty easily. I actually use the cocaine for that. So right below the ear opening. So for you guys over here, it's literally right here. Right below the opening. I cut my hand over the ear and just pull it down. quite a bit. Now, if I want to get it real short, I'll come back with a stripping knife and pull even more out. And that's ready to cut. Now, with ear maintenance is cleaning, these dogs do have hair in their ears. So I did it just myself. You have to, every groomer is going to say they're all going to be different. You know, some say yes, pluck all the time, some say don't pluck the hair out of the ears. So I wanted to test it for myself. So I plucked one ear, left the other, and just cleaned them both the same way. The ear that I plucked actually got a little infection. So for me personally, I don't think Griffs need to have their ear hair plucked. Unless you've been having a problem, that might be a reason to do it. But in my opinion, I won't do that again. And they don't have enough hair that really makes a difference. It's not going to be matted in there like a poodle coat. So I would say clean their ears once a week at least. And if you notice that the dog's having a problem with an infection, then you might need to either use a drying powder or they might have to get a little bit plucked out, not all the hair plucked out. So then I'm going to have each of you put a dog on the table and we'll work on your dog separately to kind of go with what type of coat you have. Because the Griffs have this softer kind of coat like glaze and a real coarse, tight coat, almost like a German wire hair, okay? So those dogs, the same type of tools will be used, you might just use it in a different way. And I'll be able to demonstrate that on the different dogs that are around here now. Now, it comes to the nails. You have to keep the nails maintained. Usually cut them every 2 weeks. If you can't do it yourself, try to see if you can bring it to the groomer or even the vet. Or if you're walking them a lot, make sure you're trying to walk them on like a concrete or cement or something to kind of wear the dog's nails down. What happens is if they get too long, their feet tend to splay out and they can actually get arthritis in the joints of their, sort of like their knuckles. Or their hocks and their, like I guess ankles or whatever you call it right here. This area here gets really arthritic if their nails are not maintained. So for nail care, I'll show you how to do that. I always do it the same way. I don't hold the nail in front of the dog like this to do it because the dog's thinking about it and he's pulling away. So I'll show you. I start at the back end first.
Oh wow.
I'll actually hold the dog's foot off the table a little bit. I put my finger to push out that one nail I'm working on. Instead. And then take the end off. And I'll do a couple nails to show you. These are pretty worn down, but with the front, same thing.
Can you describe how you choose where to cut?
Yes,
Especially when it's a dark nail.
So with a black nail, it's really hard because of the quick. You'll notice when you turn the nail over and look at it, there's a definite point to the nail. Then you'll see it gets to like a thicker part. Just take the point off. Now, if you're unsure, you can do what I call shaving. You'll take part of that nail, look at it. When the blood veins just begin to pop up, you'll actually see it's like a shiny. It'll be a really shiny little part. Stop there. Then if you go any further, the dog's gonna bleed. Also, if I'm not using a Dremel, to grind the nail down, once I clip the base part off, I'll come over and clip either side. This way it doesn't leave a sharp edge, and it's better to maintain that way with the dog's nail. But if you do it this way, it's a natural bend for the dog. You're not hurting the dog in any way or trying to bend the arm or leg or foot a different way, so it's much easier. I do not shave them. Unless they are actually matted, like maybe with burrs or something, I'll shave it. Excuse me. I don't shave them because it is a protection for the pad of the foot. If you shave this off and it gets a burr, especially those ones that are spiny, like with the stickers, it could go all the way down and cut inside the pad and cause pretty significant problems and infection. So what I do is I just basically take scissors. I'll show you now. Stay. Stay. I'll take a small pair of scissors. Doesn't even matter what kind. They don't need to be expensive. Just sharp enough to do the job. And same way as I do the nails, I hold the foot this way, and I put it together where it's real tight. So I can't really get my finger in between there. Okay. I pull that hair out there, and I just take the scissors and cut it like that. See? So it makes it like a nice little. I do his pads of his feet quite often, so he doesn't really need it. Now this time, if your dog has a lot of hair, I'll kind of push it up like this and then trim around. And by doing that, when you put the foot down, it leaves a nice rounded look. And then at this point, you can take the foot up and then fix it up like that, like trim around the edges that way. Same thing with the front foot.
Just sit.
Same thing here. Yeah, it's important to kiss every once in a while. And you pull the hair, same deal. Right. And just cut it.
Kiss and groom, like kiss and release. For fishermen. That's a new play, kiss and release. You don't do that.
Let me show you the face now and the eyes. You can do two things with the corners of the eyes. You can use thinning shears. Okay. Which are these? They have teeth like a comb on one side and then a blade on the other. Those are called thinning shears. You can use this to kind of pull out some bulk. Let's say your dog really got a lot of coat on him and you want to pull a little bulk out. You can use these to do that. I actually use these underneath the tail to make that straight across. So for the eyes, I actually use thinning shears after I strip it. So I'll come back with this one here. Either this one or this small one right here. And just the corner of the eye here. I've already done this, but I can do it again. You basically go, put this right at the corner, and then pluck the hair out. Like this, see? Just the So it helps open up that eye, yeah, absolutely. And like some people like their dog to have what you call a fall, so a lot of hair over the eyes. That's fine, but I would absolutely pull out the corners then so he can still see. Because you know what, no matter what anybody says, it does impede their vision. And you'll notice sometimes if you let it get long enough, he's not bumping into things, but he's unsure greeting other dogs, or maybe even greeting people. He's a little unsure, you know, so that's sort of why. Because I take him with me everywhere I go, he's my service dog, I take him to clients' houses, I kind of want them to see his eyes. So I notice some people are like weird about that, so I don't care. But it's aesthetic, so it's whatever you want. You can go as much as you want or as little as you want. The tool's going to do what you want it to do. It's not, by using it, it's not going to pull too much. You know, you are the one who's in charge of that. The other thing I'll do is I kind of comb forward his bangs, and with him I keep I'll take a little of the edge off, I call it. So just go over here and come to the front and cut and pull. Because they're thinning shears, they're not going to pull a whole lot off the way a regular scissor would, you know. They'll leave a nice little like layer look to it.
Hans, do you see Ruby? Oh, I see.
Now if I use thinning shears for the corner of the eye, I take that blade and I kind of put it there and at the corner of the eye, and then just sort of move it, like as I'm going I push it back. So I'm flipping as I'm moving the thing back. This way I'm not pulling too much off. And you'll notice it doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't pull too much off. It doesn't make it bare in there either, which is what we don't want either. We don't want that to be bare. Does that make sense? Any questions? No?
Questions in general?
Questions in general, or yeah.
Anything about the tails?
So with their standard
Ears?
So, okay, yeah. So now I like his ears long, and I love them that way. But I do cut them. The show style is to cut the ear to the end of what's called the leather, which is the end of the skin of the dog's ear. So you literally feel to the very end of the dog's ear, and then cut all that hair off. What I do is I'll come in with this type of hand stripper. I kind of just pull the dead coat off the edge, and then if I want it shorter, I will use thinning shears at the end. So I'll come in and I'll take the end. With him I can actually do it because it's gotten longer. See how it kind of curves? Turn, please turn. Good one. See this area here, it's longer? Kind of curves down. There, I hold where the leather is so I know I'm not cutting the actual ear. And I come in with the thinning shears and I just go down and pull that out. Say, he's not pulling, he's not pulling a lot of the hair off.
So it still kind of creates more of a natural line than
It totally creates a natural line, yes.
And with the thinning shears, you don't get a straight line. You get a shaggier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shaggier, exactly. And by doing it this way, you can create a straighter line so it's not like longer pieces and shorter pieces, but it's more natural looking. It's not like a blunt cut like a scissor would do. And with this tail, I forgot this. Just under the tail, I will either use clippers to clip it around the anus or just pull out the hair right down here. So if he goes, he's not going to get it on himself. And with him, I already did it, but you can still little bit more there. You could use the stripping knife or you can use the coat king. See, I use the coat king and I kind of just hold his face and go to the side. Even if your dog's intact or not, it doesn't matter. Always go to the side, even on a female dog. So you go off the edge like that. And what this does too is it opens up this area right in here. So when he walks and moves, it's just, it really is gorgeous. Now with the tail, I actually use thinning shears. And all this, you don't like it, I know. Stay bro. All this fringe, there's not supposed to be any fringe at all. It's obviously, again, preference, but there's not supposed to be any fringe if you're talking about the breed standard. So I just take it, pull it down, I hold the entire tail and bone in my hand, and then take the thinning shears and put this stuff off. Does the same thing, it leaves a nice natural edge, not a real blunt edge. And then it looks like that. And I come up here and just curve harder. I put my finger and thumb at the very end of the tail so I know I'm never going to cut the tail off. And then just take that off too. The tail, depending upon what color it is, the white hair tends to come out real easy. The darker hair is not so much. So if you have a tail like this, I just pull some of that white hair out. I move the hair up and then put it between my thumb and then strip it and pull straight back. Don't curve the knife in any way because you will then cut the hair. If you just pull it straight back like that, you pull it all the way out. If you curve it, you're cutting it.
How about elbows?
Okay, so elbows. I can show this one here.
Oh, sorry.
I can show this one here.
Actually, no, it's okay.
No, I'm going to show you.
Because there's a quiz after.
This is the second time I've taken her class. Hopefully I can pass my quiz.
So with the elbow, I use this stripping knife, and that hair is dead already. So I'll hold the elbow, basically kind of rotate just the skin part over to the side. I hold it nice and taut, and then come up and under and then pull down. Okay. The hair goes back or down on the elbows. I just basically pull that out like that. This just opens up the elbow and really makes the dog's gait look really nice. And see how that looks? It just really opens it up. You kind of go, that's why you go in slow steps, because you see, take a step back and look at the dog and see how much more you need to pull or if you're done. If you pull too much, it's no big deal, it goes back. And you'll notice already with him, when I strip it like that, the hair around the elbow is already growing back a little coarser. So technically with this particular coat that he has, I could actually pull his leg hair all the way down. If I did that enough, it would come back coarse like this top coat is. But I like it like this, so, and he's not going to get showed. But it's not good for burrs. It sucks it in and makes it a nightmare to get out. These are a couple tools I like too. The combs. This comb is like for a full body, just for the legs and stuff, to just pull out some of the mats or whatever. This comb does the exact same thing. It's easier to handle because you can use it with your thumb too. I kind of just pull that hair out and down. And then finally I'll use, and a lot of show people will use just combs for doing hand stripping. Sometimes it's enough. But typically with pet coats it's not. You need a little bit more with the coat case and stuff. The other thing is a good knee comb. And that will do the same thing as a stripper, kind of pull a lot of that coat out that's dead. Especially in the puppies that are just beginning, or dogs that are blowing their coat. Certain seasons, beginning of summer, they're blowing their winter coat and getting their summer coat. And also I use it for the corner of the eyes. You have to maintain that and keep that clean. You'll get a crusty junk in there if you don't maintain the eyes. If it gets real crusty and hard, I'll take a warm washcloth and just wipe it out each day. You know, it depends on the dog, your type of dog. And I just, they get all this junk in their beard. So I come back with a comb or a brush and comb through that. Right? That's nice.
What about the eyebrows?
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Oh. With the brushes, well, I actually did the eyebrows already. I used the thinning shears.
Okay.
I can show you even with your dog. It's also preference, so as much as you want or as little as you want. But I just take it, I comb it forward. And when you, the important thing with the eyebrows is when you comb it forward, don't come back here and pull all this forward. That doesn't belong there. You just take it literally from like where their bone of their eye is. You kind of hold there, right back there, and then pull that part forward. And that is their eyebrow. And that's what I'll sort of mold and shape it to how I want it, you know what I mean? But this is a great brush, double-sided. It's super easy, it has a little flexible head. And I use this to get out burrs, to get out junk in their beard. What?
The metal on each side is the same.
Yes, this particular brush, yes. Some brushes, I'll show you that too. Some brushes are like this, where it has has one side is curved like this, but the other side is like a comb. Now, it doesn't, that's all it is a comb. It doesn't really pull a lot out. Let me see. It doesn't do anything at all. So it's really when you're all done doing the maintenance of the dog, then you just come back and you want to do a little bit of combing, you can with that side. This is a more flexible head, and it would be used, I would say this would be an everyday maintenance brush. And then this one here is a little bit more tighter, not as flexible. And also the pins are a little harder, more firm. This is, and I have a bunch of these brushes to sell too if you want. This is made by Master Groomer. So I just hold it here. Oh, why are you crying, my baby? Stop. You're supposed to be on your best behavior. I'm doing a seminar. Okay? Pretend like you like it.
So this means that you can totally deduct your dog. Yeah, for tax purposes. Because
I wish. Right? I could probably. This is, I just brush away from the lips. I don't really brush down onto the lip. I brush it kind of away here first, and it pulls all that junk out. I put the head up and I brush from the lip down along the side also. So I'm not brushing onto that sensitive area. Same thing with the other side. Why did you cry, huh? He's really way too hairy. I'll show you how to pull out some of this neck hair too. Because see, it's way too much hair there.
You were just saving it up for today.
Yeah, exactly. And I same thing with here with brushing. I kind of cup the ear just so I know I'm not going to mistakenly brush on top of it and then brush down and away from the ear. And then on the ear itself, I kind of hold at the base and then brush down. Short, quick strokes, pulls it all the way to the end. Pull the end of the ear, brush that off too. That's where it can kind of get matted sometimes. You'll see like little, I call them little pin mats for some reason to get them there. They also will get mats sometimes behind the ears. So I take the whole ear and push it forward and back over the dog's head and then brush right behind there and down. And then the legs, he really hates it. So I hold at his elbow because he's really in pain about it. Usually I just kind of hold the foot here and pull, but he does this. So if your dog pull back like that, then you gotta get smart and hold the elbow, right? He's like,
Did you go over their ears and or did I miss that?
yeah, I'll show you that again. So with the ear, what's really important with this floppy eared dog, it's really any dog that has floppy ears, they have a lot of coat on them. First, I take it just below the ear canal. Okay, I kind of hold that there. I use a stripping knife. You can use a Mars coat king. You could even use, if you wanted to, the thinning shears here. Okay, and I just pull that down, and it opens up the ears so that there's more airflow.
Right.
And in some cases, some people will even clip down there. I don't do that with him. Then this dog, this breed does have hair in the ear.
Right.
And what I was saying is that I tested it with Blaze because I really didn't know the answer to this question. Do you pluck or don't you pluck? So I plucked one ear and I left one ear the way it was. And if I cleaned them both the same, the ear that I plucked got an ear infection. So for me, or at least for him, plucking's not a good idea. So I'd say just get a really good ear cleaner, and I left it in the car to go get it. And then clean the ear out really well. I use paper towel instead of a cotton swab. So I'll take a little bit of the cleaner, put it in an ear, squish it up a little bit, and take the paper towel, dry paper towel, and put it in there and clean it all out. Because it has enough of a little like coarseness to it to pull out that dirt, you know? Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was saying also, like, make sure you pull out that muscle. That really is good for the dog too. It helps it look good, but it also helps to pull that coat down so it's not too full and gets a lot of junk in it. clippers on him is to clip away the hair around his penis, or if it's a female, just around her vulva, because they could get infections there if it's holding too much stuff or there's too much hair around. It can hold bacteria there, so I clip that, and that's the only thing I do with the male dogs and also with female dogs. Anybody have any questions? Or you want me to do some work on your dogs?
Is there a certain time of the year where they'll grow their coat longer? I mean, will they grow their coat longer for winter?
Yes, they will. It will get thicker for sure.
So when do you want to strip them in the summer so they grow their winter coat in?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. That's a good question. So he said, would I strip the coat during the summer so he could get a thick winter coat in? Yeah, actually, you want to strip it during the winter too because it'll get coarser and provide more protection for the dog. If you just, you'll do it 2 times a year really. You do it beginning of like maybe March, between January and March, you strip it really good. And it'll get real coarse again during the middle of the summer, like maybe June, even July. They'll be blowing their coat the hotter it gets. And different states and climates call for different things. Here in Michigan, they're gonna grow a much thicker coat, you know. So you do want to pull some out. Don't leave it. What happens is people leave the coat, a wire coat in the hair follicle, or whatever you call it, I think it's called follicle. There's 3 hairs. There's actually 3 hairs there, ready to come out. So if you don't pull and pluck them out, and you just shave it, for example, those hairs are still there. And that's where you'll get either ingrown hairs or you get infections and stuff. So it's really important to make sure they get pulled out. People tend to let their dogs get thicker or longer during the winter and think it's going to be fine, but then you end up having allergies of some sort, like, you know, skin infections or hot spots or other things that come about because that coat's not being plucked. And if it's not plucked, then new coat can't come in. It's almost like it's getting suffocated, you know. So that's part of the reason why you need to make sure you pluck the coat and hand strip it and not shave it. And the other thing, if you do shave it, if that's something that you have to do, you have no other choice, then that's fine. But if you do that, make sure you go back over with a stripping knife and just still, it's called carving. You pull out that dead coat, it's still there, you know. It does not help with shedding, so if you're doing it to stop the shedding, they're still going to shed a shorter coat, you know. So it does help that. Actually, hand stripping helps a lot with shedding because it pulls the coat down and makes it coarser, so it's less likely to shed as much, you know. That's that. Is that good? Yes. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Blade.
Good job. And then what I'll do is if you want to bring some of your dogs up, I'll go ahead and work them for you and sort of show you on your own dog what to do.